from Wisconsin who's heard of Havish, Davis, and Rotier? Mm-hmm. Okay, well, the Rotiers own a whole bunch of land in here, including all this.
Is your battery recharged? Is that what happened? No, it wasn't buzzed. It was just low.
And there's a genuine tugboat. See that right there with the pusher on it? That's a Northern Door tugboat. Now our captain here is laughing. That's because his other boat that he drives is a 130-foot long tugboat in Sturgeon Bay that pushes the freighters around. So he has an issue with that one.
So that's a little dinghy for him.
Yeah, that one. That's a joke to him there. But if he stays around Northern Door long enough, he'll learn a few tricks from that guy. Now we're coming up here on a resort with some A-frames. I'm going to pass around some pictures here. 3 years ago, this town blew up, and the main explosion started right here. See that A-frame, that picture there, and then
That was so sad.
right here with the chimney? That look familiar? Okay. What happened is public service was burying an electric line under a side road here, and they nicked a propane line, an LP line. They didn't know it, and they covered everything up and went away. And for days, that LP, which is heavier than air, seeped through the limestone like you saw over there on that bluff. Now we're going to go over there and you see some really neat caves. Well, this whole land under here is all fractured, so the LP was able to flow through the town to the lower areas like crawl spaces and basements. And several nights later, a thermostat clicked on, triggering an explosion. Those beautiful cabins you see there, one of those was totally destroyed. I mean, just totally destroyed. Unfortunately, a couple people in the cabin, the mother and father, were killed. Children and grandparents were injured. About 100 yards away, this building coming into view right there with the peak on it, sort of looks like a barn. Okay, you see the picture of it? Yeah. That all blew up apart and collapsed. Another 100 yards away out on Highway 42, the old Pioneer grocery store. The whole first floor blew apart out over the highway, and the second floor fell into the rubble. Many other buildings in town, such as the Viking restaurant, and lots of buildings in town were damaged. I don't know if there was any buildings in town that weren't damaged. And it was quite a disaster. Now the Pioneer store, the lady who owns the store lives upstairs, and she says if you ever in a dream you're falling, well, that was her dream that night. All of a sudden she was dreaming she's falling, and she was falling. Luckily, she was in her bed, so when the second floor fell onto the wreckage of the first floor, she landed on her bed. So she went to the window. She wanted to look down at the parking lot to see what was going on, and she was in the parking lot. She was totally disorientated, couldn't figure out how she ended up in the parking lot where the rest of the building was. And luckily, she lived through it. So it was quite. But anyway, the town was closed off for 3 weeks. They shut the highway down while they did their investigation and cleanup. They wanted to make sure there was no more lingering pockets of propane that might cause explosions, and they had to bring in specialized equipment. And the Coast Guard even closed off this harbor. They didn't know what happened. They didn't think it was a terrorist attack, but the damage was so extensive throughout town. They just didn't know what happened.